We are up to the best part, and that is putting baby Levi together today. I'm really, really excited. I'm so excited for you guys. I just can't wait to see everyone's babies. Before we put him together, I want to give him a little bit of a hair trim. So, of course, you saw him the other day, and he's all dry and everything's good to go now. I'll take the dummy off because everything is set and very, very dry. So, to do the haircut, I use my shears. Now, everyone knows I love my shears, and why I love my shears is because, one, you don't have to put your fingers in holes for scissors, and two, it's just like, they're just so easy, super easy and very sharp, so it's very, very exciting. So I've got my hair conditioning spray like I had before, my little toothbrush and my shears. Now I'm going to do my eyelashes first. Now everyone can see the eyelashes there. They are obviously way too long. So this is really easy. I'm just going to get behind. I can give it a little bit of a brush if I want. I'm not going to wet these down at the moment because then it'll all stick to the face and be harder to trim. So literally get behind it just like I am here. So you're looking down on it and think about how long you want them to be. Now a lot of babies have very long eyelashes. I find it really hard when I see a reborn that has really, really short eyelashes because no real babies have real short eyelashes. It's completely, totally up to you in how you like to do it. It's just, I look at the realistic point of view, and I have never seen baby, well, I'm sure it happens, but I've never really seen a baby with completely short eyelashes, short, uniform eyelashes. Okay, so I always figure that it's good to do them a little bit longer, of course, when you do your first trim, because then you can trim them up even longer, and you just have a little look at them and see for yourself what you think. And that's probably still a little bit long. It does look a little bit thicker in the video, I'm just saying. It looks thinner to me in my naked eye. So just go along and trim them. It's harder to do the other side, obviously, like I'm right-handed, so I'm going to turn the baby around for this one and look down on it this way. And just try to do the same length, making sure you get all the little fine hairs underneath that are trying to hide in the background. They're always the ones you find later. Just make sure you've got plenty of light on it so you can see them. And if your eyelashes are too thick, all you need to do at this stage is just have like a set of tweezers with you, and then just gently pluck out those ones that are just in too thick a position. So there's him with his eyelashes trimmed. I'm thinking at this stage it's fine. Actually this one's probably a little bit longer than the other and a little bit thicker, so I will go back later and give that a little bit of a trim, but I'm fairly happy with that. For video purposes, it looks great from my naked eye. Okay, so then with the rest of the hair trimming, I start with the top. So literally just, I'm going to get it like in a mohawk style. I'm not wetting it yet. You can wet it if you want. Just getting it all up there. And any bits that are tangled, I have a few little bits of tangle in the front here, but if I'm just very gentle, pulling them apart very gentle, those teeny tiny knots will come out. That's just from the process of my rooting. Okay, so I'll try to get a little bit tighter there. Sorry once again on the camera angle. Like I said the other day, I've sort of broken my tripod, so now my camera is always sitting up on a box or something, and sometimes it's not perfect. Okay, so you can see I've got like it in a mohawk there. Now what I just do is just with my shears in one hand and my finger shears in the other, I sort of get it together, brush it up together like this. And as you can see my hand, and just at that excess part there, I'm just going to trim it. Now it obviously depends on the length you want your baby's hair to be, to how much you trim it. I would like a little bit of length on the top so I can just do a little bit of a curl, which when I wet it I can curl that around. So I'm thinking that's fairly good. Just brush down the front section now And what we are doing is just seeing any extra flyaway hairs that look a bit unrealistic and out of sorts. You don't need to go across with a straight cut. That's not realistic. You just need to sort of even up the little bits. Okay. Now the same is going to be with the sides. I'm going to sort of do that in a bit of a mohawk style. And this is pretty good because of the length I originally had the hair when I was doing it. It's not too full on. There's just a few miniature flyaways that I just want to trim up there. Nothing major, which is awesome. So I've just trimmed it up. You can see to the length there, and just comb it forward. And once again, if there's any flyaway hairs here, just trim them up on a slight angle. Do the same with the other side. And the angle on the front here. It's quite not much actually. Towards the back, brush all the hair down towards the neckline. And that's where we're going to give just a trim across the bottom to trim out any flyaway hairs again. As you can see, this is really easy. There's nothing much to it. I don't want it to be too realistic, like he's just had a haircut, but of course, because of course, a baby hasn't just had a haircut. So we just want to get those long flyaway hairs that a baby more than likely would not have. So you can see that line there. And then once again, you can just do a quick fluff up of all the hair on the back to find those flyaways. It's just about trying to get everything to a sort of standard without being too uniform, because you don't want it to look like the baby has just had a haircut. Just the big, see how this one here, there you can see that there's a big flyaway hair there. It's quite long. It's just trimming that back so it's more of a one length, and then brushing it all down, and you should be fine. Now this can be done at the end if you want. I just like doing it at this time because it's easier to rotate, move the head and everything. So I'm fairly happy with that at this stage. I wish it showed a little bit better in the camera, because from my angle everything looks really uniform. Like what I mean by uniform is all the hair plugs look like they're all in nice and neatly together. The hair looks the same thickness. It doesn't look like that in the video. But anyway, I'm happy with that. So the next step I want to do is to put the neck ring on. Now you don't have to use a neck ring if you don't want, but I think if you're doing a baby to sell and you're selling it on to someone, I think you should go to every avenue to give them the best value possible, and that's all the quality bits that are used in reborning. Now with the neck ring, all it does is it goes on and then it allows the neck to move nice and easily when it's on the body. So all you do is, in the same angle of your neck ring to the same angle of the neck gap, just put it on. Sometimes you have to obviously have the right size. So I've got the right size there, it fits on that way, but I need to turn it around. Sometimes it's harder than other times to get them on, but just giving it a little bit of a squeeze will normally get it on nice and easily. If it's really being difficult on you, then you might need to give the head a little bit of a heat so it's a bit more pliable to go on for you. So as you can see, it's nice and neat. It's all done. Okay, so let's get to the other body bits. I don't want to make a super long video because, as everyone knows, sometimes it's harder to upload. Just put these bits away. Now for my limbs, I always use fine glass beads. Now what I've got 3 different types here. So I've got fine, I've got like a medium, and I've got a coarse. In the premium, I only have fine and coarse. But generally, for anyone, if you're using tumble glass for the limbs, I would go the super fine, and premium, go fine. Now, you guys can see that there. I'll try to give you a better look. You can see it just looks like white sand. The medium tumble glass looks a bit more like white sugar. It's a little bit thicker, and then the coarse looks like more like raw sugar. But my premium coarse looks a lot like sugar, and is really good. Tiny, tiny beads. Okay, so once again, it's just like sand. As you can watch that as I pour it out, it's just like very fine sand, but it's not. It's refined glass. This one has no colouring in. I have seen a few things online that people say the green type of coloured glass leaches into the kits, but I have been selling it now for 3 years. I have also been selling it to some of the top artists out there and have no problems ever. So I think if that does happen, you might have to look at your kit. It might be a really old kit, or there might be some other factor. But all of these glass beads, anything I sell is like really, really clean, has all been refined, and is all glass, pure glass. Of course, I don't sell my glass beads internationally because it's just too expensive to send. But for those of you in Australia, you can buy my glass beads if you like. It's up to you. Okay, so I'll just put this on a little mat here so I don't get it completely everywhere. So here we go with the limbs. So what I do is I get my little scoop and I just pour it in, and what I'm going to do is probably pour it into about the halfway mark. Now it all depends on you in what you want your weight of your baby to be, but just keep in mind, if you're doing it as a custom for someone, they'll normally ask for a baby weight. Remember, this is not going to be a baby weight, it's going to be a dead weight. So if someone asks you for a baby that's 6 pounds, you'll be making a 6 pound dead weight, so it won't feel like the baby did newborn. But sometimes it's really hard to explain that to a customer, so just, you know, do the best you can. So yeah, I've got it probably about up to here, and then I'm going to fill the rest with some polyfill, just your general polyfill. You can normally get them from any sort of craft store. In Australia, we've got the big packets in Spotlight. I haven't actually had it listed yet, but I do sell a type of polyfill. The bags I sell them in is enough to do one baby. So you just want to pack it in there, not super tight, but just so when you give it a squish, it feels like a muscle tone. You'll just feel your own muscle tone or your children's muscle tone, and just give it a little squish. And those glass beads that we use, the fine, give that same effect, the fine muscle tone. Like it feels like you're squeezing like a muscle or a real arm. There's no crunch in it. It just feels really, really nice. And once again, like I said, with the neck rings, I suggest plugs for the arms. Now, some people go ahead and they use a piece of felt that they've stuck across. That's still fine. It is really fine, but I think it's just another job for you. And these are so cheap, and in the end, it's a great finish off product. It looks great, nicely finished. So if your customer was to ever pull your baby apart, they would see that you've used all quality items. So I'm just going to put that aside, and I'm going to do that same with the other arm. So it's all feeling good. Bit of polyfill. Now a bit means kind of a lot. It really compacts, you know, as you can see. It compacts down into the arm and squishes up nice and tight. You'll know if you've got too much. If you've got too much polyfill, it'll feel a bit stiff. Now I've got a little bit too much in there, so I'm going to pull some out. You just want it to have that nice, soft, squishy muscle tone without feeling fake. Okay. Now a lot of you who've been watching through my videos might also wonder about the glossing. I haven't done the glossing yet because I feel I'm just moving it too much. Once I've finished him, I will lay him in his little cradle and I will put all the glossing on so then it won't be affected. Okay, so once again with the legs, go up. I'm just going to go just below the knee there. I'm not going to push it much further than that. I'm happy with that. And it'll probably take all of this, if not more. Yeah, see, it's just, if you can see I squeeze it, it's too squishy, just too squishy. Like I said again, don't be afraid, use nice quality products and your customer will be really happy. If you're just doing it for a little baby, for your own child, or for yourself, what you choose to use is totally up to you. Either way, what you choose to use is totally up to you. But it's just a nice finish off. Once again, the plug goes in and it's all finished off nicely. And as you can see, the squeezing of my leg, it's just lightly squeezing and feels really nice. Okay, one more leg to go. Oh, it's exciting. It's all coming together, so good. Okay, once again, just sort of, it's just about here. I used to do it up to about 3/4, but I found over time, I've learned it was just a bit heavy. It used to feel nice when I used to do it, but over time I've figured kind of less is more. The finished result feels really nice when it's a little bit more of a realistic weight. I used to always go on trying to make it a real baby weight, but then you realise it's just too heavy. Okay, and in goes the last plug. Once again, you can see it's a really nice squish. Okay, so all the limbs are done. All the limbs are done. Exciting! Now I've got a body. My body I'm using today is just one of my budget bodies. Why I'm using my budget body is I have seen a few people use the budget bodies with the Bountiful Baby kits, and I really liked the shaping of it. I really like the shape of this, so that's why I'm going with this one today. But you can use anything you want, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of polyfill into, these are 3/4 limbs, so into the pocket for the leg. Not too much again. If you put too much in, it's going to make it look like that baby has muscles. You don't want to do that because no baby looks like they're a muscle man. So normally I'll put the polyfill in, I'll sort of give it a squish, and I'll think, well, when I tighten that, how's it going to look? Is it going to look fake? Is it going to look too thin? And another way, a best way of doing that is to put a leg on. And before I keep going, you'll know the back of your body because that's where the zip tie is, at the back where you pull it tight, okay? So I'll grab my leg and I'm just going to sort of put it into place. I'm not going to tighten it. Put it into place. This is already a little bit tightened, so yeah. Go in there, little fella. There we go. Okay, so just looking at that from shaping, it looks like it sort of follows through from this, so it's really good. Now, another thing too, yes, I'm not using a biracial colour body. I don't tend to work with them, mainly because, you know, everyone covers their bodies with clothes and that, especially when it's 3/4, they'll always have a shirt there, they'll always have shorts. So that's why I go with this. So there we go. But you, of course, can use a biracial colour body, whatever you choose to do. So yeah, when you're doing the zip tie, just give it a pull back and forwards a few times to make sure it's nice and tight, and then we just let it rest. Okay, and then to the other leg. So I'm just watching my time of how long I've gone. It's going to probably be a longer video than I want. Hopefully my computer keeps up with us. Okay, so the same with the other leg. Pop it in place just to see if I have overdone the stuffing or not. Okay, and once again, I like the look of it. It looks correct. It doesn't look all fat and muscly. So pulling my cable ties, and there we go. We've got the legs in now. We're getting there. Okay. So arms, same again guys. A little bit of stuffing in the arm. Not overstuffed. Also make sure before you pull your cable ties that your limbs are on the right foot, right side. So I'm just going to put that arm in there. You can hear the dog barking out the front, so normally that means there's a courier. So once again, I sort of like the look of it. It's a tiny bit over, tiny bit, but I feel that the polyfill, it kind of compacts over time. So I'm going to stick to it like that. You'll also need to look at when you're putting your arm in of what angle it is. So of course, if it's like that, back to front, it's not going to sit right. You need to sort of sit the baby in front of you and put the arm to the angle that you want it to be. So I want it to sort of come across the body. Excuse me one moment. Sorry, doorbell's call. So as I was saying, you want the arm to sit in the direction that you want it to sit on the body. Where you're going to cable tie it, where you're going to pull it, that is how it's going to be sitting. Even though, like with the 3/4 limbs, they're jointed and it will move, you just need it to sit on that right angle. So if the baby was sitting, it wouldn't have an arm out like this or anything silly. So think about that before you pull it tight, and then go away and pull it tight. Okay, so last arm. Pop the polyfill in. Not too much there. Just basically use your eye. Like you'll find that your eye will tell you if it looks a bit silly, if it looks overdone. And don't be afraid to take some out. It's not a competition here. We're not in competition with anyone. So once again, looking at how I want that to sit, and I want them both to sit across the belly, so that's fine. It's not overstuffed, and we're pulling in shape. Great. So that's where we go with all of that. Now I'm going to cut the cable ties now, but you don't have to. You can leave it till the last minute. My last cable tie that I cut is when I say that it's been born. That's like cutting the umbilical cord. Now when cutting cable ties, I highly recommend toenail clippers. One, because as you can see, the edge is curved like a slight moon. Two, it gets in nice and close. And with that moon shape, it just gives it a nice smooth cut, which sits on the cable tie perfectly, which should not give anyone any cuts or scratches when they touch. So just go all the way to the end, put your cable tie in the middle and click, and it's done. And you'll feel it with your finger. It'll feel great. I can't even feel it there. I can't even feel it at all. So if you want at this stage, go ahead and cut your cable ties. Just these ones, of course. Always feel it. These bodies, they have a little bit of a cover which will cover over that cable tie, so you won't even be able to see it. The customer won't be able to see it. Remember, just nice and tight in and snip. And the last but not least, because it's not going to be the last actually, there we go. Okay, so I'm super duper happy with all that. Now we're going to start on the body. So what I'm going to do with the body, I better put this away because I'm not going to be using that fine glass bead anymore. I'm going to be using the coarse next. So I'm just going to get a little bit of a handful of the polyfill, and I'm going to pop it in to the bottom where his bottom is. And with these bodies, they're really great because they have been like pulled in to give the look of a bottom. which I like. I love the look of a little bottom, kind of like the Reborn bodies. So you want to get that polyfill down into those bum cheeks, kind of like that. Of course, we don't want to make it look like a Kardashian or anything like that, but you want it to sort of be within there, the polyfill within there. Okay, now get your stockings. Where's my stockings? My stockings are under my camera, so I'm just going to move that. Okay, now I've got black stockings today. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any tan color, but I would really suggest the tan color. Just a preference of mine, I've always used tan, but I need to get this baby made, so I've got black and it'll be fine. It'll actually show for my baby here, it'll actually show underneath the color of the body, so it'll give it like a bit of a dark look, so it will be okay. So I get my scissors. I'm going to be nice and generous, okay, because I like to be generous. So I'm going to literally put a nice length on that and just cut it. So I need to sit my baby up. Now my fingernail is a little bit rigid at the moment, so you don't want that because it'll pull the stockings. So if that happens, go and cut your nail. Just wreck it if you have to, because the baby's more important. Sorry nail, you were looking really nice, now you look a bit crazy off the center. That's alright. So sit Bubs up. Sit up, baby. Okay. Making sure he's all straightened up. And put your stocking in the body. And then start scooping in some glass bead. Now once again, here is my premium glass bead. It is, unlike the sand one, it's more, you might be able to see that it's a little bit thicker. And if I know this won't focus in, so I'm not sort of going to get too close, but you can see like little tiny diamonds. Very nice and great quality stuff. It is more expensive, but like I said, my customers expect quality. They pay for quality. They're going to get quality. So just open up your stocking and just literally start pouring it in. I'm going to do about 3 and then I'm going to see how it feels. This stocking is not very considerate of me. It's a bit of a thicker stocking, which I like the thicker stockings because then I know that the glass bead isn't going to seep out the sides. Okay, so let it all fall into place. Pick your little baby up. Yeah, that's feeling good. Now, when he's made, I don't want him to be too heavy, so I need to be considerate. I can put my hand in and have a feel of that. Okay, so it's about tennis ball size at the moment. I'm going to put it in a little bit more. I think I want to get it to more of a baseball size. So I'm going to put 2 more in there. Okay, and sort of going to squish it down a little bit, making sure it's going to pan out. Okay, so I'm happy with that first lot, but now I'm going to literally push it all down as far as I can. I don't want to make a really, really tight ball, because if you make a really, really tight ball, it'll make it less pliable and movable. So I'm going to tie it there. Now sometimes that's enough to put some more in, but that isn't enough this time. So I'm just going to tuck it all in and make sure it's nice and safe in there and feeling nice. Then I'm going to put a little bit more polyfill in. Now, as you may have seen with my other videos, sometimes I've used wadding, which was recommended by a friend of mine. I really liked her work with that, but I'm not going to actually use that today, if you're wondering. It's basically just what you want to use on each time, basically. Now he feels really, really good, so I'm not going to go overboard with too much more weight, but I will put some more in. I'm going to get another length of stocking, Now because I don't have the foot part this time, I'm going to have to tie one end. So tie one end, make sure it's nice and tight, really tight. You don't want any weight coming out. Put that back in the body again, and I'm going to put a couple of scoops in there. Probably just going to go 2 scoops. 1. 2. Make sure it's in the body. And then at this stage is when you want to put your powder wafer in. I highly recommend powder wafers, but some people don't like the smell of them. From a customer's point of view, I always get huge compliments about the smell of the Reborns and how they smell like baby powder, and customers really feel that that gives it a realistic feel to it. Now I actually sell the powder wafers. I think it's a pack of 10 for $5.20 Australian, and if it's going overseas, the postage is only $2.95. So it's really quite cheap if you think about it. That's around $8. It'll be cheaper, obviously, with currency conversions. But if they're like anywhere between 50 and 80 cents each, you should be using them. Unless, of course, you don't like the smell, then I can understand. I have gone to start using these newborn nursery scent packs by Scentsy. If you're in Australia, you will know what Scentsy is. If you're not, you could probably just look it up online. Scentsy is SCENTSY, so you can look it up. And these packs, they smell like baby powder. You've seen them in other videos of mine, I'm sure. And they hold their scent for a really good amount of time. They're quite strong. They're stronger than the powder wafers, but the reactions to these have been a little bit more excited than the others. So at this stage, I'm going to pop that in with that last amount of weight that I put in. And the best part about the Scentsy packs is they've got like little poly pellets in. That's what it feels like. So it's going to give that extra feeling of squishiness. Now I like. Okay, I'm really loving the weight of that guy, so I'm going to tie that off now. Once again, make sure it's nice and tight. You don't want anything getting out. Pack that little knot into there carefully, and then pack up the rest with some more polyfill. If you were using wadding in that time, I would have laid the wadding down. I would have made my weight packs up, put my scent pack in, rolled it up like a tube, and then I would have put it into the body. So if you're wanting to use if you're wanting to use your wadding, then that's the way to do it. And it's really, really popular and feels nice, so you can go with that. Okay, now it's feeling really good. It's looking really good. At this stage, you don't want to overstuff it. So overstuffing it will make it look like a big fat chicken. But I need everyone to remember that with the polyfill, I'm just holding a headless baby, it's okay. With the polyfill, like I said before, I do feel it compacts over time. So I think you need to compensate for that a little bit. So I always add a little bit more in without going overboard and making the baby look scary, okay? So I'm just going to sit him up there at this stage. I feel, like I said, that he's feeling really good. I'm liking it. So he's going to sit there and I'm going to work on his head. So with the head, once again, I've just seen a little flyaway hair there. Any flyaway hairs that are still going, you can trim as you go, or at the end, which is probably what I should just do, just any extras that I see. So I'm going to just put a little bit of polyfill in there. Now, I'm going to put my weight so it goes to the back of his head, okay? That's because I want it to have that soft feeling of the head falling back of a newborn baby. If you've got an open-eyed baby and you don't want it sitting like that, because you're going to have it sitting up, you'll need to put the weight more towards the forehead. That way, when he's sitting there like that, he'll sit there nicely and he won't sit there like that. Okay, but this is a sleeping baby, and I want it to be as realistic as possible. I want it to have that effect. So I'm going to pop the polyfill in the back of the heads first, and I do this just because I like to protect the hair a little bit more. It probably doesn't do much at all, it's just something I do. If you're using the powder wafers that I sell, I would have suggested, hopefully you haven't got ahead and done it yet, I don't think you would have, to cut it in half, because that makes it even better. You can put half of it in the body and the other half, just pop it behind the nose. So I'm going to cut another length of my stocking off and pop it into the head. And then add some wet. Probably 2 scoops will be enough at this stage. Now these scoops I've got here are 50 ml scoops if you're working with measuring spoons, but you know, you don't have to do it so precise. Okay, now what I want to do with this is I want to have a feel of it, like hold your weight bag so it's not going to open up or anything. You want to feel the baby like in your hand, like to the effect of how it would feel if you were really holding a baby. How heavy would their head be? Now this feels heavy enough for me, so I'm not going to add any more in. I'm going to tie that weight bag again, nice and tight, and I'm going to make sure it's sitting towards the back of the head like I said. Now if you wanted to get that bag to the front because you have an open eye baby, you can just pack that back part with polyfill before you put the weight in, or you can turn the head over. So now I'm going to pack it with polyfill. Now remember, when you're doing the polyfill packing, if you get too much in there, it will distort the head. It'll make it sort of go out of shape, all right? So you will know if you've overstuffed it because the baby will look different. You want to try to make sure you get all your polyfill up to the top of the forehead first, because otherwise it's hard to push it up there later and you'll have a squishy head here and a tough head here. Now there'll be a slight squish, but it won't feel super tight, okay? Now just remember guys, this is just the way I do it. If you've got a different way about doing it, go ahead. There is no magic rule to this, even though some people might say so. I don't think there is. Now that's just giving a nice squish. So that's all I want for that, and I'm going to finish it off with a plug, nice and neat. Look how neat that looks, guys. Okay, so now to put the head on. We're going good, we're going great with time. Now when I put the head on, try to put him in place without pulling your cable ties. Now if your body has strings, that's okay, you can use the string, but my suggestion is cable ties are a better sealer in the end. Now, I'm not going to put all that in all the way at the moment, but I'm just going to see how it feels like it's sitting. Okay, it feels good. These budget bodies, the cable ties are already pulled in place, so I think it might be a little bit too tight. I don't want to wreck my hair or anything. Just pull it into place. If you've got a body that you've put the cable tie in, of course you won't be running into this problem because it won't be already put, like the cable tie won't be already snapped into its little space. Now I'm thinking I might cut that and go get a new cable tie because it's just making it very difficult for me. I'll just go get a new cable tie. Okay, so with the cable tie, if you have to insert your own cable ties, it's very easy. Just pop it through the area and push it through. I know with some of the bodies that they're like got a seam here and here and here, and the cable ties sometimes tend to get caught in that area. But just if that happens, go in through the other way because it might be just the way that the seam is held. Okay, so this is all good. Pop the cable tie into its little bracket. Now before I pull too tight, I'm just going to see how that feels. Now as you can see, his head is going back, which I want. But if I wanted him to sit, there's probably not really enough polyfill in there. So I'm going to just add a little bit more at this stage. Just a little. But definitely if you've got an open-eyed baby, at that stage you would need to put more in because you need more support there. I'm just thinking of the future, you know, the compacting factor. Okay, so now that's all in place, make sure that there's no polyfill hanging out or anything and looking a little bit untidy. And when it's all clear, then pull your cable tie. Not too tight, because we still want to have the head moving. Okay, and that's the beauty of that neck ring as well. So you need it to be tight enough that the head's not going to fall off, but not tight enough so the head won't move. So there we go, he's all together. Now just feeling from him and what he feels like, what he looks like, everything's feeling really, really nice for me. I'm really liking that. So now we get to the part of the time where I'm going to cut the table tie and have his time of birth and everything, and then I am going to, so I'm just getting all of this out of the way, then we're going to dress him. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay guys, so we got that exciting time where I can put all his outfit on and finally reveal him in all his glory. So excited. So let's get started. Alright, so let's pull all these little clothes away. He's having his little sleeping time in his little bed at the moment. So he's looking really good. Now, first I've already cut the little back cable tie on his neck, so he is all ready to go and happy to be born. So I'm really happy with him. He's so cute. So I'm going to put his nappy on. I've just got like a regular Huggies Disney nappy at the moment. So of course you can put any nappy on, but he is newborn size, so putting a newborn size nappy on him. This is the best part, probably my favourite part after all this time. And just close the nappy on him. So cute! I've got like a little mint green, I think in America and that you call them a vest, but we call it a singlet. So I'm just going to pop his singlet over his head. Like that. So adorable. And just pull his singlet down. Look guys, so cute. He's so cute. I really love this baby. Now a reminder to everyone that his name is Levi. His mummy called him and she cannot wait. I've told her that he's almost, that he's just being put together, and then I'm going to pack him up and book him in on a courier so he arrives to her. So I've got this adorable little outfit here, just some like little overalls, some winter overalls and a little shirt, long sleeves shirt. Now like I said before, the glossing I'm going to do after he's off camera and everything. If you've got like your lip nail and gloss or air dry gloss finish, that's all you need, and you just need to apply it with a small lip brush and just let it sit for, you know, like 20 minutes, half an hour, and it'll all be done just when you'll feel it's sort of touch dry. So I don't need to show you how to do that because it's like just painting the nails, toenails, fingernails and lips. Sometimes you can put a little bit into the ear and even just inside the eye there, just to give it like a little bit of a wet look. Some people even put it in the nostrils, so it's completely up to you where you'd like to put it. I'm loving this colour on this little baby. It's just so adorable. It's really, really suits him. My customer, beautiful Mary, I hope that you watch this back eventually. She asked for like colours like tan, taupe type of colours, and then also maybe a light blue and stuff. I really liked this colour. I thought it sort of matched in with her sort of theme. Now I am putting these over his feet, but when I get to the stage of glossing, I'll just sort of pop it back off. I'm just putting it on to show you. And I have to take some photos of him, get him all photographed and ready to go. So cute. Now normally I have a few outfits available for each baby. He will go home with another outfit, but sometimes I normally have a few available to try on my babies, because there is occasions where I put the outfit on and I really don't like it, like it just doesn't suit, but I just had a big huge feeling this outfit would suit him, especially so because it's in the type of colours the customer wanted. So I'm really happy and it fits perfectly. Look at him guys, look. He is so cute. Look at this little outfit with like a little, she did say she liked the puppy theme, so this is kind of a puppy bear sort of theme. You could take it either way. Shoes to sort of match. Now I have got one of my white hospital beanies. You'll see them on Aussie Reborn supplies. I'm just going to give that to him. And I'm giving him a honey bug vintage dummy because it just totally goes with the whole theme of everything. I have got a nubby bib here, and I'm going to put that around his neck as well. Gives him that sort of authentic look. I love it. And if you had seen in the previous videos, I've got him two little monkey lovies, as you call them, little rattle, and this is sort of the lovey to go with him as well. So that is how he's going to go home with his teddies. He just feels really, really nice. I think she's going to love him. What do you think, guys? So I'm going to pack him up now. I'm just going to show you quickly what I've got to pack him up with. So I'll just sort of show you from that angle so you can have a good look at him while he is laying there. Come on, Levi, you stay in your little position. I'll put something behind him. So he sits up there like that. So cute. Now I've got this box for him. It's a great size, and I thought the colouring in it, the sort of vintage sort of rough looking wood look, looked really, really nice. So that's going to be his little box. As you know, he's going to get his two little monkey lovies. This one's the rattle, and then this one's sort of like the little lovey, but it's just so cute. I liked the fact that they were matching, so I wanted to get him both of them. So I've got like a little pack here of baby wipes. Now, of course, we can't really use that on them as such. I'll get down low. On them as such, because they're not actually really dirtying their nappy. But you can use these at home yourself. If you were to give them to a customer, they can use them at home themselves, and they can even use them to wipe off the face and hands if they get a bit dusty. Another thing is baby powder. I give that just as something, again, it's just like a whole sort of realistic pack to make it look like it's a real baby coming home. I always give my babies a hairbrush and comb set so the customer can look after them. And I'll also give her a little spray bottle, not this one as such, but a little spray bottle with the water and conditioner mix so she can look after him and spray his hair, keep it all nice. This is his little blanket. So I loved the feel of this. These are really, really well priced. I think they're only $8 from our like reject shop, we call them. But the quality in them, I believe, is superb. It's just amazing. And it all sort of goes with his whole theme and colouring with the cream, the taupe, and even the blue in there, look. So that'll be his blanket. He will also get another outfit, maybe another 2 outfits. I'm just going to find the ones that really suit him and are really special. I just love him. He's just so cute. And he'll get some nappies and a few other little goodies. So I try to just keep my accessories that I put with them to be all this little box. Oh, look in here. I tried to get all the accessories I put with them to just be really authentic. So that's what you need to do. Just baby items, toys, clothes, nappies, singlets, bibs, more sets of socks. He'll also have a little set of white hand mittens. So that's all you need to add with them. Also, you'll need a birth certificate. Your baby will really need to go home with a birth certificate. And if they are an extra special baby, all of them are special. But if it's like a limited edition baby, you will need to send home the COA with it as well. So guys, I really hope, let me just put this camera up. So guys, I really hoped you enjoyed the video of the ethnic painting of this beautiful baby. I thank you so much for coming along for the ride with me, and I hope it has helped you learn some new things about yourself and about little tips in reborning. I hope that I can help even in the slightest bit. I'm really privileged to be a part of that. So everyone, thank you so much for being a part of this with me. Congratulations. Please email, I'll put my little email address to the bottom of this page. Please email me your baby designs once they're finished. I would love to see them. I would absolutely love to see your finished product. So thanks for everything again, guys. Bye, and I hope to see you again soon. See ya. Take care. Mwah.